As far as in-camera VFX go, LED walls, 3D models, live environments, and a guy with a reflective helmet get a lot of hype. You know what doesn't get that hype? What needs that hype? What deserves more hype? Camera tracking systems. Without these, the machine that is in-camera VFX would stop moving. Actually, it wouldn't even start. Without a tracking system, we're left with a 3D environment and a camera that are disconnected from one another. No fancy camera moves, no parallax, no in-camera VFX. This stuff matters. There are two routes to solve this problem, both involving sensors and tracking points, and each have their own approach to solving this problem. So what are they? How do they work? And which one is best for your production? Action! Our goal is to track the camera in 3D space and link it to a live environment, thus creating extended reality in-camera VFX. Here are the two types. One, inside out. Put simply, there's a camera on top of your camera that senses the tracking points around the set. The second way is the opposite, outside in, where there are multiple cameras around the stage that pick up tracking points on the cinema camera. So yeah, the names are inverse of each other, but what's the difference? We'll start with inside out. Now this camera sensor is tracking static markers around the set to determine the relative position of your shooting camera. It does this by shooting infrared lights on the walls and ceiling of your studio. So what are the pros and the cons? A big pro is its flexibility. That's it. You can place the markers wherever convenient in your studio. Now because you're gonna have markers placed everywhere, camera moves are welcome to this system. But this is best for a set studio where you're not gonna be moving pieces around and moving trackers. Another pro is that inside-out systems are typically more cost-effective. It's also mobile, so anywhere where you can conceivably move your camera, you can also track it in that space. Now, there are a few cons to this as well. Typically, you're trading flexibility and mobility for latency. Now that's because all of the 3D space computations are done at the camera level, not set up to a node that's set up to your computer. Also, if you're using a single IR camera, there's a broader margin of error for your positional data. If there's only one camera that's making sure you are where you are, it might miss sometimes. Now the inside-out method is used by systems like Mo-Sys Star Tracker, as well as Antilatency. Now this brings us to the opposite. Outside in. Here's how it works. Sensors around the stage are fitted with infrared LEDs. Those LEDs shine outward towards reflective nodes on your camera. Now there are pros and cons to this as well, and a big pro is less latency. Another pro comes because of all of those sensors you've set up. More sensors equals more accuracy. A con to this is that your stages have to be clear. So all those spots where you leave your C-stands or your flags off of set, those gotta move. Your infrared sensors might be obstructed. This also restricts your stage layout because those sensors all around the stage need to see it from their fixed position. Outside in has been the preferred method of some major productions in the past. Some you might have even heard of, like The Mandalorian. They use the OptiTrack system, but there are indie solutions like the HTC Vive and the base stations. Again, everything we're talking about in this video is for in-camera VFX camera tracking. And of course, there are many other uses of motion tracking, but it's best to understand your use case and see which system will work best for you. So the next time you hear some hype about LED walls or 3D models, just remember in the back of your mind, motion tracking is important too, and it needs the love it deserves. Thank you for watching. We have a whole playlist of these virtual production explainer videos. I would love for you to check them out. I'm Josh, you're watching CoPilot, and I'll see you in the next video.